Hey there, Tamir from FIBONACCI.com, your daily market recap. Like, subscribe, and without any further ado, let's see the charts. We will start with the SPY, but don't go anywhere. We will talk about the Qs, IWM, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Apple, Amazon, AMD, Nvidia, and many more interesting names. Don't go anywhere, don't fast forward, don't skip anything. SPY 1.6% to the downside, and if you saw yesterday's market recap, you're not surprised because we talked about this doji of this trend line and we said most probably pullback is incoming, and this gap, as we said, is filled now. The 500 is the support, below it the 493. Days of an uptrend inside the yellow zone. Be prepared, we might get some kind of a pullback to the 505.60 and closing the gap at the 504.41. By truly understanding price action and the in-depth relationship between candlestick analysis, trend lines, and Fibonacci, we can, with the highest probability, know where price might be heading next. Check the links in the description below. Choose your path to financial freedom with Fibonacci-Traders. Financial freedom with trading. QQQ, same thing. We talked about this doji yesterday. Now we closed the gap. We closed Friday's gap. Now the 423 needs to hold. Below it 420 and 413 will be here very fast. Dow Jones with 1.5% to the downside. The lower border of the yellow zone, very tough resistance. It was support. Look at here. It was support throughout February until March. Now beginning of April broke to the downside, and since then, as you can see in the past 3 weeks, the yellow zone, the lower border of the yellow zone, the 384 area, very tough resistance. We got ourselves the sell signal, bearish on everything, on all time frames on the Dow Jones. The 376 now needs to hold, otherwise 370 incoming. IWM with 2.2% to the downside. Yesterday, Monday's candle tried to get back inside the yellow zone, but the yellow zone, once again, the 200 area, rejected price. Not surprising, just look left. It was a very tough resistance throughout January, then became support. Now, once again, resistance. The 196 area needs to hold, otherwise we will go and retest the lower border of this broadening formation. Bitcoin, for the time that I'm recording this video, inside candle with 0.90% to the downside, and not surprising, here we are, Bitcoin retesting this blue trend line, all these trend lines, you know them because we have been talking about these trend lines in the past few weeks or so. We have been talking about this triple top scenario since middle of March. We talked about this double top, then it became triple top, and here we are inside this green downtrend channel, retesting the blue trend line. Below this blue trend line, this area, the 58, will be next. Below it, 52 and 50 to the downside. Overall, there is nothing bullish, as you can see. Nothing bullish on the Bitcoin, nothing bullish on crypto land. And I remember just a few weeks ago, before Bitcoin halving, all the social media, Bitcoin is going 500% up, Bitcoin is going to 150, Bitcoin is going to 500,000. Ladies and gentlemen, stop following others, become your own indicator, learn how to read price action by yourselves. It's your money, take control of your money. Check the links in the description below, whether you want one-on-one live with me, whether you want the online program. Basically, both programs are the same content. Both programs will gain you access lifetime for support, guidance, and all Discord channels. Take your financial freedom in your own hands. Ethereum, same thing. We are still inside this downtrend channel, and as you can see, lower lows incoming at around 2680 is the next support for Ethereum. Magnificent 7 ETF going down 2.75% to the downside, back inside the yellow zone below the 37.77, which is the lower border of the yellow zone. Look here, throughout February and March, it was a very important area of support. Now, once again, we protect price. Below it, this gap at the 37.50 will get filled. 37 and 36 to the downside. SOXX, semiconductors ETF, trend lines, Fibonacci rejection. Not surprising. Now, the 210 area needs to hold the support. Below it, 204 and 197. Let's see how AMD will affect the SOXX. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about the SOXX? Going back to these two gaps to the downside, or will it hold the 210 and then we will start breaking above this downtrend channel? Let me know in the comments below. Now let's talk about the ETF sector, the hottest sector around. MSOS 25%. Now let's see continuation above it to the 12.45 and 13.83. MJ, you know this yellow trend line. We have been talking about this yellow trend line. Just go back, watch my videos in the past few weeks or so. MJ, or just follow me on Twitter, X, and you will see this trend line. You will see all this support resistance area. Here we are, MJ 26% in just one day. Some kind of a pullback. Relax, cooling off to the 450 will be super healthy before the next leg up to the 530 and 591. Now hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let's talk about Amazon. Amazon closed the after hours after earnings. Pretty nice earnings, but it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about Amazon or the earnings or the numbers. The only thing that we need to follow is price and what the market thinks about the numbers. Amazon closed the day at the 177 area. Now the yellow zone needs to protect price, otherwise this gap will get filled. Long continuation above the 180.80, and then we will see 184 is the next resistance. AMD, another great example why I always say, and I repeat myself over and over and over, just to protect you and protect your money. Never go into earnings with open positions, because no one knows how market will react to those numbers. And this is the most important thing, how market is reacting to those numbers. And what do we see? AMD 7% almost after hours at the 147 area. Back to this area. Look at this. This area was a very important area of resistance, now acting as support since middle of April, breaking down and under, and we will see 130 and then 112 to the downside. All you need to do is put the FTI on your chart. The FTI, the Fibonacci-Traders indicator. This is the indicator, this is the tool that I have developed with all my knowledge about Fibonacci support and resistance, trend lines, buy, sell signals, risk management, and multi-time frames. All just one click away. Check the links in the description below. Put this amazing tool on your chart and you will start to see things you never saw before. Tesla, 555 to the downside, 555% to the downside. We know that gaps are like magnets for price action, and wherever you see gaps, you know this gap with high probability, more than 85% chance, will get filled. And now this gap from March 5 got filled. Now this area, the 176 area, the higher, the upper border of the yellow zone needs to hold, otherwise this gap will get filled. Microsoft 3.2% to the downside, bearish on all time frames. 390 now is the support, below it 376 and 361. Overall, as you can see, bulls in the past few days tried on the SPY, they tried on the Qs, they tried on the Dow, they tried on the IWM, they tried overall failed. Bulls are back in control. Meta 0.5% to the downside, the 439 area. This is the Fibonacci resistance area. Support for 14 below it. This gap will get filled, and then you have another 2 gaps to the downside. Overall, Meta super bearish. Google slowly already 7% or so. 7% since the high of Friday. 7%. Now the 161 area needs to hold the support, otherwise you know what will happen. This gap at the earnings gap will get filled, which is also not surprising, and the 50% Fibonacci retracement. Apple earnings coming up Thursday after the bell. 1.8% to the downside. It all comes down to trend lines. Look at this trend line. You know this trend line. We drew this trend line way back, and once again this trend line is acting as a very tough resistance together with the upper border of the yellow zone. Now the 169 area needs to hold, otherwise 167 and 164 to the downside. Nvidia with 1.5% to the downside inside the yellow zone. Now the 50% retracement, the 861 area is holding as support. Below it, no need to guess. You know it will go retest the 835, the lower border of the yellow zone. Below it, 801 and 756. Let me know in the comments below. How do you think Nvidia will react? And how Nvidia will act? What is the price action we're going to see on Nvidia post AMD's earnings? MicroStrategy 17.6% post earnings. Look at this. This is why we never go into earnings with open positions. We are traders. We are risk managers. We are not gamblers. MicroStrategy is on its way to close the 896 and the 800 gap. Look at MicroStrategy. The only thing we need to protect is the downside, because MicroStrategy already 47% since March. Just 5 weeks ago, MicroStrategy was at the 2000. MicroStrategy now almost at 1000, almost 50% to the downside. If you didn't use stop loss, you are down 50% on your money. Protect the downside. Learn how to manage risk. Go to the Fibonacci Traders Academy playlist in my YouTube channel. Fibonacci Traders Academy playlist. Free playlist. 40 videos on how to become a better trader on the technical side and on the psychology behind trading. Check each and every video. It will help you. You will start understand how price moves, how to manage risk. And then if you want to elevate your trading journey to the highest level, join me on the one-on-one live mentorship program, or the same thing, just pre-recorded. Both programs, as I said, I'm teaching you everything that I know and more, because I'm giving you lifetime access for support, guidance, all Discord channels. You will join an elite team of traders, swing traders, day traders, crypto traders, option traders, all under one roof. SMCI 3.5% to the downside, got rejected once again by the upper border of this downtrend channel, got rejected by the yellow zone. Next support is the 786. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, like, subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell, because we are going live 8:29 Eastern time, preparing together for the next trading day. Until then, stay safe.